And welcome back. Over the weekend, one suspect was killed and 22 other people, including two of the suspects involved, were injured during a 24-hour arts and music festival in Ternton, New Jersey. Officials believe a neighborhood gang dispute prompted the violence. The shooting comes just days after 6 new gun control laws were signed in the state. New Jersey's Governor Phil Murphy responded to the shooting by calling for even more gun control, though it seems that other factors may have played a larger role in this shooting. For example, the suspected shooter, Tahaji Wells, was released early from prison, even though he was supposed to be serving an 18-year sentence on aggravated manslaughter charges. About 8 years ago, Wells was sentenced to another 6 years in state prison after pleading guilty to a second-degree racketeering charge. Now, despite these two lengthy sentences, Wells was released in February, and somehow he got a gun, allowing him to carry out this mass shooting, which brings us to the gun debate, which isn't receiving the same kind of national attention as it was just a few weeks ago. For those who missed it last week, a judge issued a temporary restraining order blocking the village of Deerfield, Illinois, from enforcing an assault weapons ban that was scheduled to take effect on Wednesday. Judge Luis Barones found the ban unenforceable because it was preempted by the state's Firearm Concealed Carry Act and the Firearm Owners Identification Card Act. Recently, a motion was filed also against the city of Boulder, Colorado, to block their approved ban on the sale and possession of assault weapons, bump stocks, and high-capacity magazines. Well, earlier I spoke with Perry Pendley, the president of the Mountain States Legal Foundation, the organization leading the Boulder lawsuit. Mr. Pendley, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, good to be with you. Thank you.
All right, there's a lot going on here, but I want to start with New Jersey, and I want to go through some of these new laws that have been passed there. New Jersey, of course, already has some of the strictest gun laws in the states, but they want now background checks for private gun sales. This new law bans the sale of armor-piercing ammo. It reduces the capacity of magazines down to 10 rounds, and it codifies regulations regarding handgun permits. Also, there are 2 other laws that would allow police to take firearms away from people deemed to pose a threat to themselves or others. What's your take on this New Jersey set of laws?
Well, it sounds pretty darn broad, and I just don't know to what degree it's attempting to replace what federal requirements are in place. My big concern, as you read the list, and that's the first time hearing about it, is with regard to the police and their ability to take weapons, firearms, legal firearms away from people who, quote, pose a threat, unquote. In whose view and after what type of a proceeding. I think it's very troubling that a cop on the beat or a cop visiting a domestic violence alleged situation would say, well, yeah, I'm going to make the decision here. This person poses a threat. I'm going to take the weapons away from him, especially after going through all the requirements that a firearm owner would in New Jersey and has to go in New Jersey and New York. I think that's very troublesome and worrisome. I can't imagine that's going to stand for very long.
When you look at the Parkland situation, though, the police deputies made a number of calls to the house. There were lots of police reports about trouble there. That might be a situation where you have repeated police activity at one's house. Do you think that would rise to the level of where someone's firearms should be taken away?
Well, the Parkland situation, and I know a lot about it because I've followed it closely, and because of another issue I've been involved a discipline program adopted by the Parkland schools, the Broward County School District. Mm-hmm. It adopted a discipline program that meted out discipline on the basis of race, and Mr. Cruz escaped scrutiny, notwithstanding. For example, he brought bullets to class. He had a backpack with bullets in it, and my wife's a former teacher, and the first question she asked was, well, where's the gun? If he's got the bullets, somebody else has the gun. He's hidden them on campus. And unfortunately, the police in Broward County and the Parkland police had signed off on all of this and were not taking action against students who obviously posed a threat. I think if the school had taken action against Mr. Cruz, there wouldn't be 36 visits to the house to determine whether or not he had a problem. I think he probably would have been incarcerated.
Now, on the local level, let's take a look at Deerfield, Illinois. A judge there has temporarily blocked their assault weapons ban. What do you think will happen next with this local ordinance? You see it going on to the next level?
Well, that's obviously up to the city. The city was going for the headlines, and it made it. It made it on national news. It's covered by Tucker Carlson on Fox News. So it got the glory apparently it was seeking. I don't know if they're going to continue to press forward with this. You know, when a judge issues a preliminary injunction, it's a 4-step process. And one of the steps is the plaintiffs who brought this lawsuit are going to win. And so when you have a judge make that determination, it's pretty much curtains for the proposal. Deerfield would be wise to just pull this off the table.
Yeah, it'd be costly for that city to defend that ordinance as it goes through the ranks of the courts there. Talking about Boulder, Colorado, they passed a similar ordinance. Do you think a judge will eventually block theirs as well?
I believe so. It's incredibly broad and it's incredibly vague. The great fear that I have for the citizens of Boulder City, and bear in mind, this is Boulder City, not the county. The county is a much larger jurisdiction around the city. And the danger that it's posed for people is that they really don't know if they possess an illegal weapon. If they try to get it certified or registered by the police, they might be in violation of several laws.
Yeah, that's certainly a concern. And plus, once you step out of the city, out of the county into the city, things change very quickly. Now, do you think Boulder is a similar situation, as you indicated with Deerfield, Illinois, that they were more or less doing this to seek headlines as opposed to actually making real change?
Absolutely. There's a lot of virtue signaling and shaming and sloganeering going on here. They grabbed the headline, the tragedy in Parkland, Florida, and they said we got to do something about it, and this is what we're doing. And we were at the city council meeting, and we told them what you're doing. It violates the U.S. Constitution, violates the Colorado Constitution, and violates Colorado law. And they said, well, we really don't care. And they really don't care. And they were hearing from their locals. One other thing that they did was they raised the age at which someone could have a firearm to 21. Right. We're representing a 20-year-old man. He's a member of the Colorado University shooting team, and he may not, for the first time since he started shooting as a young boy, he's not been able to possess a firearm because the city said so.
Well, we'll see what a judge says about this one. Thanks for being with us, Mr. Pendley. Keep us updated on these cases, and we'll have you back real soon.
My pleasure. I look forward to it. Thank you so much.